It is a great honor and a privilege to introduce Leah Grundman, and your maiden name was Krankus, and you come from Romania. And Kanan Hori, you're going to be 90 years young.
In a few months.
That's amazing. So Leah, we're in your beautiful home in Yerushalayim, in Jerusalem. And Leah, can you tell us a little bit about your family, where you were born?
Yes, with pleasure. I was born in the very nice, and I don't remember, in Bessarabia, on the
Black Sea.
Black Sea. It was a very nice and small town. I don't remember exactly the name, and the Russian did something different. I don't know if it exists. And I don't remember because I was 1.5 years when we went to the Romanian part, to the Romanian part, in a very, very, very nice town, a big one, on the Donau. And it is called Galatz. My father was a rabbi and a chazan, a very, very, very beautiful voice. And at home we used to sing. And we had a piano, of course. So before ABC, I was about the piano.
Gee.
And I was before the war, but my mother had problems, and I remained one of the family.
So you were the only child?
And the only child, nothing. And during the war, and the Jewish family, they were afraid to have babies. And you know why? Because what we heard about Poland and what they did to the Jewish, we were afraid. In Romania, the Jewish community paid a lot to the Germans, and the Jewish community was community, with synagogues, with everything. But at the end of the war, they destroyed our shul and of course our house, and we had the possibility from somebody, I don't know exactly how, he was not a Romanian, he was from another, and he had possibility to have from England or something, don't remain near the shul. Go away. So we went to friends with Pekalach. And that was everything we had. And I had a very, very nice coat, a new one. So my mother said, no, don't put one, little one. No, take something very, very schmattedik. Okay. So after the war, oh yes, and then when we ran from place to place, the Germans also ran, and pack. My mother received one, but my father was a few days in the hospital.
They had a bullet?
Yes.
Leah, can I ask, growing up, did you go to a Jewish school or a...
Jewish school.
Jewish school. And you were able to go to shul on the Chagim and Shabbat?
Yes. They paid, the Jewish family, the Jewish everything, they paid, and we had everything what we need. And shchita.
So kosher food, yeah. And did you have any non-Jewish friends? Or most of your friends were Jewish?
No, I had my school.
And your parents knew what was happening in Poland and in...
Easy somehow. Somebody had a friend who had a friend, and he had, yes, and they took all the telephones from everybody, also from the Goyim. But if they had how do you say, like you have another, you are Jewish, but you have also the English
maybe a passport?
A passport or something like that, they could have a radio, but not Jewish, the Goyim. So we had from time to time something to know about what is happening in Europe. And they, in the shul, they talk English, not Hebrew,
Yiddish.
So the skin versteht nicht. And I versteht everything.
You understood Yiddish?
I understood. I couldn't.
What did you speak at home?
Romanian. No, at the beginning Russian, because we came from the Russian side. Then I was in school, not in school, in school. So it was Romanian. And my mother started also to learn Romanian with a very, very hard Russian background. But she spoke very nice.
And did you speak Hebrew, any Hebrew at home?
Of course, not at home, but in school.
You learned Hebrew?
Of course. Chanukah, שלג שלג מן השמיים, tick tick tack, טיפות המים. I remember even the music.
And you had a good childhood?
Yes.
A very happy.
With everything, wonderful.
And did you have enough food, or was it difficult?
Yes.
So it's interesting. Romania was divided. The one part of Romania, it wasn't good.
No,
and then
one part of the Romania is the Russian part. Yeah. They went to the Russian part, but in Romania, they took money, and the Jewish society was Jewish.
And Leah, do you remember the German soldiers in your town?
Yes. I remember during the wars, there was in a family a very, very nice German. I don't know, he had here something, but he was, he couldn't go to the war. And it was in their, how to say, they had the home with the Jewish, and he came with us to the underground, and he brought me cake, not cake, chocolate.
And this was a German?
The German. And he told me, I have a grandchild, and please take it. And my mother or my father said, take it.
Did he know you were Jewish?
Of course, everything, everywhere, all the family around, all the friends, it was just here the shul, and here Jewish.
And Leah, did your parents ever tell you why they left to come to Romania from the Russian side?
Yes.
Why did they leave?
Because father had a better job. He had a better job. And he received the job in Germany. And then he said, here is nice. And the child to learn in another school. No. And that Baruch Hashem, there was no Jewish, I think, person they didn't kill.
No, it was very, very bad, very.
So HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And what happened with your parents, with their family? Like did you have a Bob and a
They
Zayda?
were very, very, very clever, and they went to the north of Siberia.
So they managed to escape. And they survived.
And came to Israel. So I have the second or third generation, and not. I was calling, כן גברת, מה את רוצה? אמרתי, שמי לאה גרונדמן מבית קרנקוס. את לאיצ'קה? אמרתי, כן, אני לאיצ'קה.
And this was your mishpacha?
Yeah.
And you met each other?
Okay, but it was just calling, and then I said,
But did you meet face to face?
yes.
And how was the meeting?
I invited.
And when you met, was it very emotional?
Very, very emotional. Very emotional. And they came to Israel. And also we met in Israel. And when they came from Russia to Romania to go to Israel, and the Germans destroyed the shul with our home. We had a very tiny flat. It's all the families were in our flat. And in Israel, when they came, Baruch haba. Baruch haba.
And can I just ask, Leah, when the Germans were there, did you ever see any anti-Jewish?
No.
And from the Romanian children, or did you ever experience? No. You never experienced any anti-Jewish?
No, with the Romanian children, I had no interaction with them. I was in the Jewish school, so I had my friends, and there was, everything in the shuk.
In the market?
In the market was Jewish, and Greeks, Jewish, Greeks.
So can I ask you that, why do you think the Germans decided that in this part of Romania not to, so because the community gave money?
A lot of money. They needed a lot of money.
And that's how you survived. That's how the community survived.
And Jewish schools.
And they never stopped it. They
didn't touch us. HaKadosh Baruch Hu was there, looking and doing. Hakol מהשמיים.
And did you have any family on the other side of Romania where terrible things happened, like with Yash and with...
No, that was not a family. That was not the Russian part. We were from Bessarabia. Yash.
Did you know anybody, any family who were there?
Yes. Also they came to... Not all the Jewish were killed, and they came to Israel. We had friends here from the families.
And when you heard the news of what happened...
Where? I heard the news? Who heard the news?
No,
we had no radio.
No, after the war, or when you heard?
After the war, we knew everything.
That must have been terrible to have heard.
Yes. Even I was 11, but I understood everything. And then one day we had no house near the the school. So we had a flat, and I was in school, Jewish school, and I think I went to buy some book. So I was just, looking maybe at the vitrines, and some hand on my shoulder. Yiddish kind. Ты говоришь по-русски? Do you speak Russian? He was a Russian soldier. I said, я не говорю по-русски. Я не... So I don't speak, I don't understand. And that wasn't Russian. Because I remember the family told me, you don't know Russian, just Romanian. Don't speak Russian with the Germans. Don't speak Russian. So I said, я не понимаю по-русски. But I said it in Russian. And Yiddish kind were from Kishinev. I am from Kishinev. Who's your father? I said, Krankurs. Ershale Krankurs? And I took him home. My mother saw me with a soldier. For me, he was a general. And she, I don't know, Madame, I'm from this and this family. And he came, they went also to France and with the soldiers, yes? Every Shabbos he was eating with us. I remember everything. And I remember it with a smile. And with a pleasure to tell it to you.
It's incredible.
Because you will do something with it.
Yeah. It's just, it's a nisim, it's miracles.
This is miracle, yes.
And you have a picture when you were, here's a little picture with you, with your parents.
That was before the war.
If we can just show the picture.
Just a minute. I want to...
It's a very, very precious picture.
My mother was beautiful.
I'm just gonna, wow. And there, it's your mother and your father. And who is your father with the hat on?
Yes.
And the man in the middle?
And the man is from the family, and he went to Palestine, and then he came to see the family. So, and then he went back to Palestine, and I have a family here.
No, I'm just going to show this. And here you are. How old were you in this picture?
3 or 3.5.
It's a beautiful picture.
It's summer, so it's 3 years old. Blonde, very blonde. My father was gingy blonde, and mother black. And I have a granddaughter, exactly mother.
Oh. It's wonderful. And here you have a picture of your parents before they got married.
No.
It's a very, very beautiful picture. What were your parents' names?
Dora and Herschel. Herschel is Tzvi.
Yeah. And then this is a picture later.
This is in Israel.
This was after this is in Israel.
This is in Israel. And my husband was Tzvi Yehuda.
Gee.
So my father said, Tzvi Yehuda, אז אמרתי, אישה לא מביאים כמו אימא, אבל בעל אין לזה. אל תתחצפי.
That's beautiful. Now if you could just show this picture of you as well. This is such a beautiful picture. Wow.
No, take it. You took it?
Yeah. And can I just ask, when...
Just a moment. You want to finish and then I can sit.
It's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful picture. Thanks. Can I just ask, when...
You can ask anything.
Okay. When the war was happening, what was happening with the Romanian? Were they were allies with Germany?
But not with Germany. Mm-hmm. They in between.
And you never had any very...
No problems.
No, not with
schools, Bate Knesset, everything.
Not with the Romanians and not with the Germans. And you weren't scared to go into the streets or...
No problem. That was something special.
It's very unique in Europe.
Very unique in Europe. What happened in Poland with the Jewish
and in Hungary,
community and in
Hungary near the end of the war as well. Look what happened in Hungary and all over Lithuania, all the other countries.
And in Romania we had Kadosh Baruch Hu.
And what do you remember at the end of the war?
In the war?
When the war was finishing, do you remember?
Yes.
What happened?
We had no home, no parnasa.
Why did they bomb the shul and your home? Was it because of the war that it was bombed?
No, they came and they destroyed.
Who did it? The Germans?
The Germans.
To take revenge or to...
No, I don't know why.
And they destroyed the shul and your home?
With our flat and everything.
So how did you survive?
Because we had friends around. They had a radio. They took the radios also from the Romanian, but no from when they had the passport. And they were from, I told you, but no, I'm... Greece.
They were Greece.
And he had the radio. So they told, just leave the shul. Leave, take everything with you, everything you can, schleppen, and go away. No, not tomorrow. So we went to France.
You left? To friends.
And then we had no shul, no parnasa at the beginning. And then one of the very, very rich family, they had another flat. So they gave the big flat to have Rosh Hashanah, and my father had at the shul and parnasa.
It's incredible.
And I went to school. And I am looking, I had a picture with a very, very, for me, it was a very funny coat. It was from a boy. So it was like that and not like that. But I had a cat for the winter. And I was in school. And we had all over our schools, Jewish schools, teaching in Romanian and Hebrew and French. So I speak French. I was 10 years old. And then they took a teacher at home. After the war, the family of my mother were in Amsterdam and around. So, okay, not Amsterdam, but French, to speak French, and English. So I started to speak French, and I speak French like a French. She is French, my neighbor, and we speak French.
And when did you learn English?
I started to learn English with the same teacher, or maybe with another teacher, and after the war I went in Israel, I went to school, to a special school to learn English, because I wanted I wanted to see the world and to go to my family in America. And they came speaking English. Now it's a better one, because I am reading in English. I am talking English with people.
And then what do you remember when the war ended? Do you remember the day the war ended?
Yes.
Was it a special day? Was there
Yes.
celebrations?
A celebration, not the Jewish, but it was a celebration. Yes, because the Russian came. So everything was red, 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 red.
And you stayed in the same town when the Russians came?
Yes, yes. And then we went to Bucharest, and then because Eretz Israel was English.
It was under the British.
British. So we couldn't go to Eretz Israel. So we had to have the passport, and then we came to Israel. We had family. They went in 33rd from Romania to Israel.
When did
from
you-
Bessarabia to Israel.
When did you come to Israel? Well,
Rega. One day we didn't see Germans. We didn't see Germans. Zero. I don't know, it was during the night. And then the day after, the Russian came. And they were so not happy from the war. And a lot of Jewish soldiers. So the Jewish soldiers, I told you, Yiddish kind, etc., and they came to eat Shabbos with it. And then I saw them in Jerusalem. No, I saw them maybe in Tel Aviv, living here. Where they are today, I don't know. I don't know. I am not a baby, and they are not babies. During the war, at home, at school, with my friends, I had a wonderful life. Bombs, bombs, bombs. And in shul, when they didn't leave me alone. If my mother went with friends, with something important, I went with my father in shul. And they spoke Yiddish or Russian, and they understand everything about the war, about what happens in Europe. And then in America, everything is okay. So I was very happy that my family in America is very happy. What about Holland? They didn't know exactly where it is. I had family. And after the war, I think it was three, not exactly to call or massing, I don't remember exactly. I had contact with the family. And I remember how my mother was crying when she received from America the first letter or letters from the family, in Russian, not in English. And then my first visit, No, then we came to Israel. I didn't go abroad. But we came to Israel in 1950.
Can I ask, after the war, you went to Bucharest? Did you stay in Bucharest all the time?
2 years, 2.5 years.
And where did you go from Bucharest?
From Bucharest to Israel.
Oh, so but you were in Bucharest before you came.
Yes.
And do you remember when, in 1948, when the state was declared, when there was a state of Israel?
Of course I remember. Of course I remember.
Must have been tremendous celebration.
It was, I don't know how to explain it to you. How to explain it to you. We have a home. יש לנו בית. There was no problem because here in Palestine, the Jewish community, the wonderful life was a Jewish life, not a English life. Mm-hmm. But it was what I appreciated, that in schools they had more English and a little bit we lost it. There's a smaller quantity in schools. I don't know if they teach enough other languages. And in Romania, that was very important.
And there in Bucharest, the schools...
even before Bucharest.
Mm-hmm. But the shuls remained. They weren't damaged. The main shul remains, the great synagogue, the choral synagogue.
Everything, and I remember Yom Kippur. Yes, they had, how do you call when you cannot, it was during the war. There is no electricity at night.
Like a blackout.
A blackout. So Kol Nidre was before the blackout. I remember. And I told my father, how do you daven before?
When there's no electricity, there's no...
I was a little, a maidele. Not little, but a maidele.
And did your father daven in the main shul in Bucharest?
No, at another shul, in the main shul in Bucharest, yes.
He was a chazan there as well?
A chazan, yeah. And then we came to Israel. He said, this is my home. I want to work and not to sit at home during the every day and work it in Shabbos.
But can I just ask, because Romania was also very unique. Because it was under under the communists.
I think with the communists, no problem.
But that's why the other communist countries you couldn't leave, but from Romania you could come to Israel.
No, Romania was not, the German did not take Romania. They were friendly with Romania. So no problem with the Jewish community. After that came the Russian, also not to take Romania, also like friends. And they needed Romania because Romania was very rich.
But the Romanian government allowed the Jews to come to Israel.
Why not?
There were other countries in the Iron Curtain that they wouldn't allow.
I know.
Many of the countries.
I know. Yes, but it was not open at the beginning, and then they opened everything. I understood that in Romania there was a 2.5 or 3.5% Jewish families. After and after, when business became, and Romania needed the Jewish, a lot of engineers and doctors, and then most of them came for 2 years, 3 years, and then stayed 10 years. But they had also a home in Israel, coming for vacations, coming to see family. Today there is no problem to travel.
Yeah.
You take a
It's true.
1 year, 1 hour, and you go here and then and here and then. Before Corona, I had a problem to go to Africa. And I went to one of the neighbors she had a Hebrat Nesiot. So
Travel business.
Travel, yes. So she asked me, when do you want to go? So I said, after the Hagim. אז למה את רוצה עכשיו כבר לשלם? And after the Hagim we had Corona.
Did you ever go back to Romania?
Once I go to see a little bit. After 1.5 days, I went to go. I
Really?
went back. I couldn't stay. I couldn't see it.
Where did you go? Were you in Bucharest or?
I went in Bucharest. I went to, and the same where I was. No, I was not born. I wanted to go where I was born, and it's Russia. So they told me, don't go. They will not let you go back. Because we are born here. And תעודת הזהות it's not, it's ברומניה. נולדה ברומניה. Because בסרביה was Romania. But אל תתחילי. באיזשהו מקום מישהו ירצה כסף. ולא ייתנו לך לצאת, ואז יעלה לך מיליונים.
So when you went to Romania, where did you go when you went back?
I think I went to Galatz, to Bucharest.
And was
That
it?
was 2 days.
Was it?
And then for 3 days on the mountains, just to be a tayeret.
And how was it going back? Was it difficult or was it?
I was in Chutz Laaretz.
Did you feel part Romanian?
Chutz Laaretz.
You felt totally Israeli. You didn't feel.
חוץ לארץ.
Wow.
אני נולדתי בראשון לציון. I feel it.
You feel it.
Okay. No, I was...
And there, when you went with your parents in 1950, when you immigrated, were you sad to leave Romania? Or were you excited to come to Israel?
No, it was, I think it took 1 year or 1.5 years to receive it.
But when you eventually left,
Okay, we came to...
were you sad to leave Romania? Or you weren't? You were happy to be leaving?
Of course. We wanted to go home.
And when you came here, where did you go?
To Rishon LeZion.
You went straight to
No,
Rishon
we
LeZion?
went, of course, we went through the it took 3 or 4 days or 5 days. So the family came to Haifa. We were 1 day in Haifa. My father had a barb and he was just black. So they went and he came back like a young, and he was young, 35 or something like that. It was a Khan. I told him maybe even not in Hebrew. It was a Khan. זה לא אבא שלי.
Sure. He took off his beard.
A French one.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then we stayed a little bit in Haifa. We stayed 2 years and I finished school in Rishon LeZion. So I went to high school.
And you integrated well with the Israeli children?
Because I was speaking Hebrew.
Oh, you were speaking Hebrew. It wasn't so difficult. Did you make friends?
Yes.
And you made friends straight away? And how did you come to Israel? Did you go on the boat or?
in the boat. And then the family were in Haifa.
And when you first saw Haifa, it must have been.
Before them, we saw, and father said, this is our home. And it is our home. And all the family, not just from Haifa, they came to be with us one Shabbat. No, they came, and then the first Shabbat, all the family came to Rishon LeZion to be with us. And living a little bit here, nice home, and I was in Gimnasia Realit Rishon LeZion. And I remember we had to, how do you, balpe?
Orally.
Yes.
Up by heart.
Something in Hebrew, I didn't understand one word. רוני עקרה לא יולדה, פצחי רינה וצהלי, כי רבים בני זה נאום השם. Hashem, that I understood. And then the teacher said, we'll say it together. And I remember it. רוני עקרה לא יולדה. מה זה רוני עקרה? לא, I knew. And now my Hebrew is a Hebrew.
And lad, did any of the children ask you about the war or Romania?
Yes.
And you discussed it?
Yes.
And they were sympathetic to you?
They wanted to know, and they wanted to feel about mother and father and the history, a horrible history.
And your parents, did they have many Romanian friends?
They had Romanian goyim.
No, friends when they came to Israel. Did they mix with Romanian?
Yes, from the shul, because all the Jewish community came to Israel.
And did a lot come to Rishon LeZion?
A few families, yes.
From Romania?
Yes, from Romania.
And your parents, they were close with the families?
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe 5 families or 4 families. But in Tel Aviv we had family. And we have family. I have family in Tel Aviv. Rishon LeZion, there is, I don't think I have. No. They passed away.
So what made you decide to go to Rishon LeZion?
Because my family was in Rishon LeZion. They had a shop, a makolet.
And you were happy there? Growing
The
up
family.
But you were happy in Rishon LeZion?
Yes. Gimnasia Realit Rishon LeZion was one of the best, better than the Tel Aviv.
Really? Wow.
Better than the Tel Aviv teachers. Wonderful teachers.
And your parents were happy that they made Aliyah? They were happy?
They wanted to make Aliyah.
That's wonderful.
Before the war, they had a passport to go to Palestine. And then came the war and we couldn't go. Everything with possibility to have a job and everything. That was in 38, 39, finito. I remember we were putting away. We take it, not just to, but also a lot of things. And then, okay, so we stayed another few not so good days, but we came to Israel, and then to Rishon LeZion. And then the family in Tel Aviv said, came to Tel Aviv. I was so happy in Gimnasia Realit Rishon LeZion. So then my father had a very good job, not just a chazan, in Tel Aviv as a Rav. And they had a very nice flat. And then they could buy themselves a very nice flat, not from the shul. And I finished Gimnasia Realit Rishon LeZion, and being datit, I came to Israel to do something. I came to Jerusalem. I wanted to be a doctor. So my father and mother said, look, you are a young child, to be a doctor, days and night. So with a babysitter at home, do you want to have children and to see them here an hour and here 2 hours? Take something not so heavy. So a microbiologist. And I have תואר שני במיקרוביולוגיה.
And where did you study? In
Jerusalem.
At Hebrew University?
And then I become Yerushalmit, because there is a nice boy coming to another lady, and one day he came and I was dissecting no, I don't remember how do you say it in English. It's green.
Frogs?
A frog.
Frogs?
And he saw it and went away. Day after, because she wasn't at home. So day after he came. So I opened the door like that. היא לא בבית, אבל אני קמתי אלייך. My husband.
Wow. That's
And then we married. And before we married, his name was Tzvi Yehuda. And my father was Tzvi. So my father said, the same name. זה רק לנקבות, אבא, זה רק לנקבות.
It's only for on the ladies' side.
אל תתחצפי. Okay, so we married. And we have wonderful children. And he studied here art, and he was very well known. And then his young brother, Shmulik, here in the picture, with the young lady, he studied in Jerusalem. My husband studied in Switzerland. And art, and we had a wonderful, and Baruch Hashem, I started also to work, and a small flat, and a bigger one. And
It's wonderful.
this is not a flat,
It's a home.
it's a modern home. It's a modern home. It's like palace.
It's so lovely.
And I had, she was a friend in בית ספר עממי. She came, תגידי, את השתגעת? למה את לא חותכת את זה ולקחת אנשים שתזכירי את הדירה? את לבד, בשביל מה את צריכה את זה?
So in English, why don't you divide the flat and
To
rent
cut it, not to divide, to cut it, and שיהיה לך הרבה כסף. אמרתי, מה שיש לי, טוב לי.
So Leah, I want to ask you, because you've got such a wonderful, wonderful way about you, and your whole ideology is so beautiful and so wonderful.
I remember everything, but I have every day, just pleasure. And Kadosh Baruch Hu gave me I think that it's a very important thing. Be happy. And I am happy.
And that's what I was going to ask you. What message do you give to your children and grandchildren?
And I gave it to them. I gave it to them. They are not exactly like me, but you say Ayala. You see Ayala.
That's wonderful.
I have Ronnie, Ayala. I have 3 children. I have grandchildren, great-grandchildren. Baruch Hashem, Baruch Hashem.
Salah, I want to thank you because this has been incredible. I really want to come in. I want to thank you. Leah, it's been really so special. I am so grateful to you. Ein milim, there's no words. Really, Leah, you have got such a beautiful outlook on life. And you have such appreciation and you're so grateful. And it's so rare to see where people are so grateful for what they have. And you're always smiling and you're just such a wonderful, positive...
My mother was always shachor, shachor, shachor. And my father was, I am like my father.
Your mother was...
No. They had a wonderful live in Romania and in Kishinev. And she was negative.
And you so positive.
Sken zich machen. When I said, Imam, ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta, sken zich machen. So she said, I'm Jewish and I'm not sure if it's the right side. Sken zich machen.
But look at you, your outlook is so...
Like my father.
That's incredible. So you should just have mazel bracha and nachas from your children, grandchildren.
And thanks a lot to Percy.
There is no words. There's no words to you and to Percy, and I'm so grateful to you. Leah,
I had a wonderful day. I had a wonderful day. Next time with the family.
Leah, this is...
With pleasure, with pleasure,
this is
with pleasure.
Incredible, Leah. You should just... Admei Vestream Plus.
Plus.
Not only May Vestream, 120 plus, in gesund, good health, mazel bracha, and all of Hashem's blessings.
Gesund.
Gesund.
And Baruch Hashem, I don't say I have no problems. I had a little bit problems with my blood pressure. So I take everything, I take every day, boker, erev. And I take it because I have to write. Lakachti et hatrufot. Not, and for Shabbos it's cut, and lakachti et hatrufot, I must.
Gee. Not
to forget. You understand?
You're amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful.
And